after prosecution?
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, if you feel like if you feel like it needs to be done more than that, that's okay. But, generally we've been, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. And I just tried to call Ethan and he said he's joining now. So, yeah. Great. And up front, before we start, you'll have the judges will introduce themselves, and then you'll ask the students on the teams to introduce themselves. And then the clerks. Okay?
Okay.
Great.
Who's gonna do that?
You could do, I'm sorry, Helena, maybe you could just, yeah. How about you start introducing yourselves, and then as the chief judge, just say, Helena, it's just so as the chief judge, say, can the teams then introduce themselves?
Okay.
Okay, great. The teams and the clerks, yeah, but they'll get it. And as I said, I will chat. If I need something, I won't put the chat into the main group unless it's a comment really positive. If it's a chat to you all, I'll probably just write individually to you because everyone will see the chats. So I don't want to be as I said, the voice from God this time. So just keep checking your chats. You'll see something from me, maybe. Hopefully you won't see anything from me, except for good job. Good.
Okay, so somebody just give me the high sign. If you'd like me to just start the introduction process off, just somebody tell me when to start that.
Yeah. We'll open it in a second. We haven't let everybody in yet. Yeah. We're waiting.
Yeah.
Here comes Ethan. Ethan, can you hear us?
Yes, I can indeed. Can you hear me? Good morning.
We can't see you. Can you get your video on?
I can. I am just trying to set up the background as well, but give me a second.
Okay. Can we send a message to the participants that we're going to be a couple of minutes late?
Just quickly bombing it to say hello, everybody.
Hi, Wendy.
Thank you, everybody.
Hi, Wendy.
Oh my gosh. So I'm only going to be on for a little teeny bit on here, and then I'm going to log into the website and watch you and chat to the participants there. So
Wonderful.
Great to see everybody.
Great. Great
Yeah.
seeing you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, everybody, on this event. I know we're not done yet, but I have some idea of all the work which has led up to it. So I'm going to say congratulations now.
Yeah, 90% is showing up, and we've shown up many times, so it's good. Absolutely.
And the 10% is
okay. Great.
Okay.
Ethan's on. Okay,
Right.
Great. All right. All right. I think that we can. Dio, do we have all the prosecution and defense team and the clerks? Are they here?
Yes, Bruce. They are in the training rooms here.
I think so. We'll let them in, and then I'll do a quick introduction, Helena, and then I'm going to turn it over to you all. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So what we'll do is you'll introduce yourselves, the students will introduce, and then after that, you'll say, judges, we're going to leave the room, then we're going to come back in, and that's when the clerk should say, everybody stand up, hopefully. Okay.
And
So judges, when they say stand up, please literally stand up and go outside the camera. So Ethan and Andrew, get up and just move outside the camera. Okay. Yeah. Terrific. All right. Let's let them in.
Hey, we're not leaving yet.
No, not
We're
yet.
just
We'll do
practicing.
yeah.
7, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fair trial.
Exclusionary hearing.
Constitution is
The right sides.
police power.
The electronic scale.
The law.
Examination in chief.
The system.
Drug trade.
Witnesses. The fact.
Risk, sir.
Case theory.
The search of the car.
Cross-examination.
To re-examine its witness.
Legality in the collection of the evidence.
Closing argument.
Balance of probabilities.
Defendant.
Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon or good evening, depending on where you are around the world as we are live streaming. My name is Bruce Lasky, and I am one of the co-directors of the organization Babsicle. And we are one of the co-founders of this amazing 2023 Asia Mock Clinical Legal Education Evidence Exclusionary Hearing event. It's wonderful to have everybody here, and we're positive that this is going to be a dynamic, enriching, and really value-filled period over the next number of hours as we have students from so many countries in Asia working together to work through this hearing, demonstrate their skills, their knowledge, and most importantly, their real appreciation and understanding about access to justice, fair trial, and rule of law. We, as one of the founding organizations, we very much want to thank so many of the partners that are involved in bringing this together. They are listed. There's so many to mention. So I'm going to say, you know, they are listed on our website. Each one of them individually and as a collective group are equally important. This has been an amazing experience. We began doing this event virtually a few years ago, and it has been nothing but successful and positive. So with that, I don't want to talk too long because I have a tendency to do that, and I'm not going to do that. I want to say, you know, congratulations to all the students, all the student teams. You're going to see some of them presenting today, but they're all part of a collective team that have been working together to do this. So it isn't any one student. It isn't just the team presenting today, but the team today is part of a larger team. And of course, I very much want to thank our judges that are here today, Helena, Ethan, and Andrew. And with that, I'm going to turn this over to them. They are going to introduce themselves, and then the students will introduce themselves that will be presenting today, and we will proceed with this small but important hearing.
Thank you so much, Bruce. Good morning, everybody. I'm Helena Whalen-Bridge. In my real life, I'm an associate professor at the National University of Singapore, and I'm thrilled and happy and very much looking forward to being the chief judge at this hearing today. I work in my research, and I teach in access to justice and pro bono. And what I would say also as a teacher is that every experience you have is an opportunity to learn. So I know that teams, and I'm really talking to you now, that you have all worked very hard. But also, in addition to kind of wanting to show us your work and what you've accomplished, do also continue to think about this as a learning experience, because there's so much to learn. Okay, so now I'm going to hand the floor over to Justice Wang and then Justice Valentine. And then after we do their introductions, we'll turn to the teams and ask the teams to briefly introduce themselves. Justice Wang?
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ethan, and in my day job, I do commercial disputes in a firm called White & Case. I was also a trainer in this very, very important and helpful initiative. And so I know some of the effort that has gone into preparing for this hearing, and also the efforts, for the students attending those sessions and learning all about exclusionary evidence. So, I hope that it'll be a very useful session today, and I look forward to a very exciting set of arguments from the teams today. Justice Valentine.
Thank you. My name is Andrew Valentine. I'm participating from California in the United States, where it's still Friday here. It's Friday night. I am a partner at the law firm DLA Piper, and we have a nonprofit affiliate called New Perimeter that that does international pro bono around the world. And a lot of the work we do actually is with Babsicle. We've worked with them for about 10 years on various projects, and including this one. We are one of the organizing organizations that have worked closely in preparing the packet for this mock event. And I've participated in training and as a judge in the past, both live and virtual. I'm a trial lawyer by training, and I really enjoy doing these kinds of events and seeing people develop and work through case scenarios like the one today. So I'm really looking forward to participating. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, my fellow justices. Now I'm going to turn to the prosecution team. Prosecution team, could you briefly introduce yourselves? And prosecution team, after the lawyers are done, then the witnesses can introduce themselves. So let's start with the prosecution lawyers.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. So my name is Trương Văn Quý, and you can call me Quý. I am currently a second-year student in the Faculty of Law of the National Economics University of Vietnam. My major is economic law, and Vietnam is also my birthplace. And today I will join the prosecution team as the first prosecutor. And at first, my purpose to join the mock CLE evidence exclusionary hearing event was to learn the new interesting and practical knowledge about a trial. And I think I have achieved it successfully. And moreover, another thing that I find very grateful for it was that I was able to meet a lot of new friends and learn about new cultures throughout the process. So I want to say thank you to all the Babsicle team to create such an amazing event. Thank you.
Good morning and namaste. I am Jigyasa Upriti from Nepal. I study in Kathmandu School of Law, which is affiliated with Purbanchal University. I am a first-year BA LLB student, and in today's event, I am playing the role of prosecutor too. And the reason I joined this event was because it has been a great opportunity to learn about exclusionary hearing trials, and also to grow and explore with all the other friends. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lan. I am from Vietnam National University, and I am the third-year student, and my major is law. So today I'll be playing Senior Officer Street, and I feel immensely lucky and fortunate to participate in this program because, I've learned so much as for the skills, for the knowledge, and for the attitude and the ethics that I'm going to be as a lawyer in the future.
Namaste everyone, this is Jasmine Giri and I'm from Nepal, and I've been studying BLLB in Kathmandu School of Law, which is affiliated to Purvanchal University, and I'm a BLLB first year student, and yeah, I'll be playing the role of Officer Narrow today. And the reason for me to participate in this program is that I want to explore myself and know about new things, as this evidence exclusionary hearing session is very new to us. And the main thing is that I feel very blessed because I got friends. I got my international friends whom I can communicate so well, and it was so fun during this whole session where we communicated and practiced together. And thank you so much, Babsicle, for this.
Thank you, Jasmine. Could you change your your name needs to be redone? I think it's from the last time you did it. So that will help us. Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
Hi everyone, this is me Anjalisa. I'm actually having problem with virtual background. I will fix it soon. I study in Nepal Law campus. Currently, I am in second year. So we have semester system. So I am in. I have still yet to give boards of third semester, and will be in first semester in sooner. And I am very much happy to be part of this team. And today, I'm going to play the role of a Jiggy Bagman in this session, and the main reason to be part of this event is to explore more proceeding of different countries, to be able to interact with peoples outside of Nepal, within the Nepal, but of different universities, and also to explore more about the proceeding system, to explore more about the law practices, and also virtually connecting with different peoples, and for the networking, of course. And it had been a very good journey till now. And yeah, it will be one of the greatest memory as well, virtually. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, prosecution team, and welcome. And we do know that that you represent the wider efforts from a much bigger team. So thank you. Thank you to you and to all of them. Okay, let's have the defense lawyers and then the defense witnesses introduce themselves now, please, and do be brief. Thank you. Go ahead.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Anam Gilang Pamungkas. I am currently a third-year student in my university from Indonesia, Pasundan University. I am currently majoring in international economics, international economics law, and I have been very grateful to be participating in this event since I was able to learn so much about trials and also about how to think as a lawyer, which I believe it will be very, very useful for us in the future, especially if we plan to practice law in the future.
Hello and namaste to everyone. I'm Sukriti Dungel from Nepal. I'm currently studying BLLB first year in Kathmandu School of Law, which is affiliated to Purvanchal University. And I'm playing the role of defense lawyer in this role play today. And I'm very grateful that I became the part of this workshop. I learned very new things regarding the court procedures. And I'm very grateful that Babsicle made us found new international friends with whom we will be connected forever, I think now. So I'm very grateful for that. I learned various new things. Honestly, from the evidence hearing to the court procedure to the witness preparation to how everything is done in smooth way, I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Samantha Tet. You can also call me Alice. I am from Myanmar. I'm studying at Moya University, third-year law students. I'm participating today I'm playing the alpha role. I'm really happy to join this workshop and this event. This event gives us a lot of skills and knowledge and a lot of things. I also really I'm really want to be participate, and I really want to be practice with the actual trial. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone. I am Rika Shrestha from Kathmandu, Nepal. I am currently studying BLLB, which is a double degree of arts and law under Nepal Law Campus, which is affiliated to the Tribhuvan University. And today I'll be playing the role of Diane Carrier. I hope I do justice to the role and everyone from my team. And being an ambivert, I was like really excited to join this event, and I got to it was really fascinating to see so many people from different countries who had such different lives, but we are all united by this common thing for our passion for law. So it was really fun to know that, and just to getting to know everyone. Thank you.
Is it my turn?
Not quite yet. I think we have at least one other witness, the defense witness, Elcha Parker. Have you introduced yourself? Yes, okay. Are we, fellow justices, are we done with the witnesses for defense?
We need Butcha Kale.
Correct.
Yeah, where's Buncha Kale?
Buncha Kale has some issues with the internet, so I think she'll be joining us later, but I don't think she's here right now.
All right.
Yeah, some
in that case, yeah. All right. In that case, let's move on to the last, but definitely not least, the very important positions of the clerks. So clerks, could you all introduce yourselves, please?
So hello and namaste. My name is Diksha Adhikari and I am from Kathmandu, Nepal. I'm a first year BLLB student at Kathmandu School of Law, and today I will be playing the role of clerk, and I will be awaiting everyone of their time, obviously. And the main reason I wanted to attend this CLC exclusionary hearing event was to obviously explore myself more, but also to make myself ready to appear in the actual court. So thank you.
Okay, and just checking, do we have more than one clerk to be introduced, or just one? Looks like we've got one.
Just one.
Okay, just one. Okay. All right. Okay, well, at this point, we have all introduced ourselves and welcomed everybody again. So what we'll do now is the judges, I'm going to ask you to retire to your virtual rooms. So you won't see us for a second. And then the clerk, I'm going to ask you to take over and ask everybody to stand, and then we'll come back in. Okay. All right. Fellow justices, could you exit, please? And we'll start the hearing. No.
Everybody stand up.
Okay, fellow justices, could you enter the room again, please? Thank you.
Please be seated.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, did you want to say that the court is in session?
Yes. So everyone who are attending the CLC mock trial event, the court is now in session.
Thank you. Okay, then I'm going to ask both sides in turn. Are you ready for the exclusionary hearing? And I'm going to ask you one by one. Prosecution, are you ready?
Yes, we are. Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Defense, are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, so when you say you're ready, that means that you are ready to present, to establish your burden prosecution for the evidence. Is that correct? Prosecution?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. All right, so now we're going to proceed to the witnesses. We're not going to take testimony quite yet, but we do have some admonition for the witnesses. So I'm going to ask both the prosecution and defense to call your witnesses forward, and they should be spotlighted here so we can see them. Could you do that, please? And Madam Clerk, could you tell me when all the witnesses are here?
So maybe just I was thinking that they should give the opening statement first.
No, what I understand to happen now is that I have to admonish the witnesses.
Okay.
I have to tell the witnesses what they are to do, and that has to happen before the opening statements. Yeah. So could we get all the witnesses here, please, in the room? Madam Clerk, could you tell me whether we have all the witnesses here, please?
No. What are the witnesses from the defense side?
Could you confirm all the witnesses are here? All the witnesses that are going to testify? Could you just confirm they're all here now? Okay, I'm going to assume
Yes,
that they
Judge,
are.
They are all here.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so witnesses, what I'm about to say now is really primarily for you, but of course for everybody. Witnesses, during the hearing, you will be placed in separate rooms. During this time, you will not be permitted to observe the hearing, and you are not permitted to discuss your testimony with anyone. Once you have completed your testimony, you will be permitted to observe the remainder of the hearing if you would like. Witnesses, can you please say, do you understand what I'm saying? And do you all agree to this? I need to hear you all say, I agree.
I
agree.
Your Honor.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. And now, Madam Clerk, could you please make sure that the witnesses are all sent out to the breakout rooms? And please tell me when that's been done. Madam Clerk, have
Judge,
all the
you
witnesses?
can proceed now. Yes. Yes,
Okay,
all the
wonderful.
witnesses.
All right, well done. Thank you. Okay. So now I'm going to ask the prosecutor, Prosecutor 1, are you ready to proceed with your opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Please do proceed with your opening statement now and observe the time limit. Yeah, so be careful about that. Please proceed. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Your Honor. So right now, the prosecution would prove the legality of the seized items and observation considered as evidence during court, and the acts of the two police officers were unbiased, accurate, and merely based on pivotal, lawful, and professional measures, which in the end led to a legal arrest in order to protect the safety of the society. On the 1st of March 2023, according to a repeated information being received during January-February 2023 about reliable confidential informants of excessive drug trafficking occurring along Pacific Avenue in the area of Astor Road, Senior Officer Street, an experienced police officer that always obeys and follows the law, sets up a legal traffic checkpoint in order to prevent any potential harm that could be caused. As Senior Officer Street directed a black BMW car into a legal setup traffic checkpoint with specific observations of the suspect expression, including bloodshot eyes, erratic movements, and the awareness of the fact that the defendant worked for a delivery company once under police surveillance for connection to drug trade. Officer Street asked for further information of the inside of the packages. However, with aggressive attitude, the defendant refused to give him any further information. Due to the defendant's expression as well as other reasonable doubt, Senior Officer Street asked for a freak search to prevent harm from weapon of any kind, yet the demand was aggressively refused along with the act of reaching the pocket from the defendant. According to the situation, Street did as his professional perspective and immediately conduct a freak search, which then resulted in a small scale, usually being used in the drug trades. This led to further inspection of the car that helped to find a bag of white powder, which then was defined to be cocaine, a bag full of cash, a list of names, and a corresponding amount of money. The evidence obtained showed that the defendant was doing an unlawful act. As a result, she was arrested by Senior Officer Street and Officer Nero. Due to the above reasons, the prosecutions would prove that the evidence and statements for the sake of the whole society were obtained exactly according to the relevant legal procedural code of Zartanu. Thank you, Your Honor.
Prosecution, are we hearing more from you, or is that the entirety of your argument? Is there another prosecution argument?
Yes, Your Honor, that is all my opening statement. Thank you.
Okay, so we don't have a prosecution, we don't have a second prosecution lawyer making a statement. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you. Defense, can you please proceed and give your opening statement?
Okay, Your Honor, I will proceed with my opening statement. Hello and good morning, everyone. I'm Sukriti Dungel. I will be presenting as defense lawyer, and I will point out that the search conducted on Delta Parker was unlawful by the officers, and that during search, evidence found to be excluded as there was no reasonable ground to conduct the search that time. I would like to move with the facts and to the issues to be focused in the court today. So moving along with the facts, Your Honor, Alter Parker is a chemical engineering student who has been working part-time job as a delivery driver for PDP Delivery Company. She is a 28 years old transgender person who is very private about her sexuality, even to the point of keeping it as a secret from her family. On the March 1st, 2023, after collecting the packages from the company with a partner, Dan Carrier, she is in relationship from the past 2 years. They were on delivery run, and she trusts her company with the delivery packages they provide her. Her partner was helping her out with her deliveries on the way to the third delivery of the day. Eltra was directed by Senior Officer Street to stop at a checkpoint on Pacific Avenue at the crossroad of Astor Road. In the checkpoint, she was stopped by police officer where no signage of checkpoint being there was placed. After asking few questions, Senior Officer started looking inside the car, which made Ultra uncomfortable. Your Honor, this is the violation of her basic fundamental right of privacy. Senior Officer started asking accusatory questions, judging her from her partner Dan Carrier as she was arrested by the police before. This aggressive questioning made her nervous, therefore she started fidgeting her watch and pocket nervously. Your Honor, she was on a way of delivery package. She might be checking watch for the time of not being late. However, this made officials suspicious that gave opportunity to the freak search of her without such warrant, and the consent. He didn't have any reason to conduct the search, which is suspicious. Your Honor, in this way, through the fact, they forcefully detained her to the car and did the car search, which is again unlawful. For the search of the car too, they didn't have search warrant nor the consent. During search, Senior Officer Strait found a phone which belongs to PDP company. It was a passport protected phone of the company. Even though Ultra told the officer, but Senior Officer compelled her to give the password and check the phone without consent of my client. However, the law mentioned properly that if the police officers found a mobile phone or some other device in a person's possession, provided they continue to have a reasonable suspicion that commission of an offense exists, the device can be searched to the Jaltanis police power and responsibilities. Noted, however, the device is password protected. The police officer do not have power to gain the password without consent and a search warrant obtained. And I clearly mentioned there wasn't consent and the search warrant. This clearly says the phone check was unlawful. Your Honor, being experienced of the work for 16 years, Senior Officer made my client uncomfortable and didn't follow any of the Jaltanu's law. Even when Ultra Parker asked for a lawyer, Officer didn't even respond to her. It was their duty to inform the legal aid before the action. Your Honor, these were the facts, and now summing up the facts, I would like to highlight the issues of the case. Issue number 1 to be noted. Officer Strait and Narrow didn't put any signers at the checkpoint. As an experienced senior officer at the checkpoint, who must be abided by the laws of Zaltanu, was irresponsible with the signers at the checkpoint. They were irresponsible with the signers at the checkpoint, Your Honor. Issue number 2, without permission or consent of my clients, officer did frisk search on them. Your Honor, main point to notice is that they didn't have search warrant of the person that time. My client was uncomfortable with the search by 2 authority officers touching her and was nervous with the action. When she tried to reach for stress ball, officer forcefully detained her and performed the search in the name of public safety, thinking she poses weapon. They didn't find anything but electronic skill from an engineering student. This is against the law of Jaltanis, Your Honor. Issues number 3 to be noted. After the unlawful frisk search without reasonable ground, they still forwarded to the car search. The car search without consent and the search warrant. They found the package for the delivery, which was the work of Eltra to deliver them. As I already mentioned, she trust the workers she worked with in the company who upload the packages in the car. There wasn't any base for the car search after the unwanted frisk search. Issue number 4 to be noted. Issue number 4 to be noted. Your Honor, from the same car at the Globe Department, they found 2 phones, one of my client and another of PDP company. Being experienced officers, they forgot checking someone's phones is the matter of privacy by the fundamental rights. Still, they didn't think consent mattered that time. Even though Eltra was unwilling to give the password as the company privacy too, still officers compelled her to provide the password. Your Honor, these were the 4 issues we need to focus on the court today, as the evidence collected like this is very unlawful to the court. Now, highlighting that, 1 checkpoint, in the checkpoint, fundamental right of privacy was violated. She was searched without warrant, without reasonable ground of suspicion, issue number 2. When she asked for legal aid also, officer didn't respond to that, which is the duty of them to respond with the legal aid. And mainly to focus on no search warrant and the consent for above action was taken. Your Honor, I would like to conclude with all the facts and issues I mentioned that evidence collected was very unlawful. As a defense lawyer, I would like to request honorable panel of judges to exclude any evidence found result of this pressures and testimony obtained from Elder Parker. Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Thank you, defense. All right, thanks very much to prosecution and defense for your opening statements. We're now going to move to the testimony and the witness phase. Prosecution, we're going to start with you. Would you like to call your first witness?
Yes, Your Honor. We would like to call up our first witness, Senior Officer Strait.
Senior Officer Strait,
Yes, I am.
are you in the courtroom?
Yes.
Please stand up. Raise your right hand. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please, you can be seated.
Okay, prosecution, you want to start the questioning?
Yes, yeah, thank you, Your Honor.
Examination in chief.
Hello. So first of all, can I ask you to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Senior Officer Straight. I am 49 years old, and you can call me Miss Straight. I am a member of the Zaotanu Police Force. Since 2016, I've been assigned to work in the traffic control unit.
All right, thank you. So what is your duty as a police officer, especially on the 1st of March, 2023?
Before the first day of March, we received many reports say that drugs were moving along through the Pacific Avenue. So on that day, I set up a checkpoint at about 10 a.m. And on that morning, Officer Narrow was there to assist me. I did put up the signage ahead of the checkpoint to warn the road users. And my main responsibility is to direct the cars into the checkpoint and to conduct further inspection.
Thank you. So there was a specific occasion at the checkpoint which led to an arrestment earlier noted. Can you please tell me more details about that?
If I remember correctly, it's at 11 a.m. At 11 a.m., I directed a black BMW car into the checkpoint. And I walked closer to the car and I saw two people sitting. I instantly recognized one of them was Dane Korea, because Dane Korea was previously convicted for drug possession, and I was in that case. And as usual, I introduced myself to the driver. I say, I am City Officer Straight, and this is a routine checkpoint stop. And where are you two heading today? And the driver, who now I know as Elshra Parker, responded something like, I'm on a delivery run and I work for the company PDP. And then I asked for Parker's identification, driver license. And when I look at the driver license, I noticed some stuff in the car.
Okay, so what did you notice? What did you note in the car? What did you see?
There were pretty much things there, but what kept my attention was the rolling papers and the clip seal bags. You know, I've done so many cases related to drugs in the past. The rolling papers can be used to grab cannabis. You know, cannabis is a kind of drug. Yes. And the clip seal bags, the size of them are, you know, pretty small. Yes. Pretty small, like the length is equal to my thumb like this. So as far as I know, in drug cases, criminals often divide the drugs into small size, put them into small clip bag like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. So what did you notice about the driver, Elshra Parker?
The driver appeared pretty anxious, and she kept constantly fidgeting. You know, I've been working here for 9 years. I know that there are some people who are nervous about police check, but not all people have that bloodshot eyes. You know, what I focused the most about the driver is the Parker's eye was so bloodshot, and there was stuff like the rolling paper in the car. So I thought at that moment, this bloodshot eyes can be the result of using drugs. And this guy also has something to do with, you know, PDP.
Yes. So what does it have to do with the PDP company? You have mentioned that the whole time, and what it have to do with that?
Yeah, you know, the moment Parker introduced, he worked for PDP, and I heard the company's name, I already know that PDP is not like the normal company. It has been under our surveillance for drug trade in Zaotanu for the past few months. So that's why I decided to ask Parker, could you please tell me what is inside the package that you are delivering? I just wanted to make sure that there is really no connection with drugs.
All right. So how did Eltra Parker respond to the content inside the packages that you were required to know about?
Actually, he didn't tell me. He said that it was none of his business. So in fact, I think she tried to avoid answering my question. This is pretty strange because most delivery drivers I've met, they know basically what they are delivering. For example, they would reply me like, the packages are wine, are furniture, are food. So, but Parker even told me in a very aggressive tone of voice. So it made me think that Eltra Parker intended to hide illegal stuff from me.
Yes. So then what did you do next after he or she respond to deny the questions?
So, you know, I had to ask both of them to step out of the vehicle to conduct further search. At that time, with those information combined, I was so sure with my suspicion that this person must have something to do with drugs. So I decided that I would conduct a freak search on Parker and Korea. And I remember I called Officer Narrow to come over and help me with the freak search.
Okay, so what did Eltra Parker do when you said that you would conduct a freak search?
Parker still looked very aggressive. So Parker reached into her pockets and began to take something out of it. You know, with her being so suspicious, so aggressive, I believe that she tried to take something out like a weapon, like a knife or a gun. So I immediately took hold of her and conducted a freak search over her to confirm that there was really no dangerous weapon.
Okay, so what did you find in the freak search?
First, I found a stress ball, but then I wanted to make sure that she did not have a weapon on her. So I continued, and next I found an electronic scale. You know, the scale was very small. And from my experience, this kind of scales are often used by the drug dealers to weigh the small amount of drugs for sale.
Yes. So following that discovery of the scale, what else do you find?
After the scale, Officer Nara and I conducted the search of the car, and in the trunk, we saw a crate label with PDP branding. And the crate holds many packages, and one package in it, it has a self-sealed baggie. And when we opened the self-sealed baggie, we found a white powder. And from my experience, this kind of tie, the size of the baggie, is very common among drug dealers to use when they transport cocaine. So, later, the white powder was confirmed by experts to be pure cocaine and weighing 1 kilogram. And right next to the crate, as I remember, it was a huge amount of money inside a black bag, just right next to it.
Yes, thank you. So beside from that, are there any other things that you find in the car?
And after we found something at the trunk, then Officer Nero and I continued to look for the glove compartment, and we found 2 mobile phones. And I passed one for Officer Nero to check, and the search revealed nothing. And for the second phone, I realized I need a passcode to open it. So I walked over to Parker and I asked, could you please provide me the passcode to the phone? But as you can predict, Parker refused to and said it belonged to PDP's company. So I told her to open the phone, and if there's nothing to hide, just let me open it. And then she gave the passcode to me. And when we opened it, the PDP phone showed a list of names and corresponding money listed.
Yes, thank you. So before taking Parker and Korea to the police car, as we noted in the business record, what did you find? What did you talk to them?
I did tell them that they had the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer. And then I don't remember clearly. Parker did say something, but one line I remember the most is that she exclaimed, like, what are you talking about? I don't do drugs anymore. That's all I remember from now.
Okay, that's it, Your Honor. No more questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Defense, would you like to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to cross-examine the witness.
Please proceed.
Okay, so hello, Ms. Stritt. So I would like you to answer my question with a limit of yes or no. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, so Mrs. Strait, how many checkpoints have you set up till the day? If it's more than 10, you can say yes.
Yes.
Okay, in every checkpoint, did you put the signage of checkpoint being there?
Yes, I did put the signage.
Okay. At what time you set up the checkpoint at Pacific Avenue?
Could you pardon the question? Could you say it again?
At what specific time you set up the checkpoint at Pacific Avenue?
At 10 a.m.
10 a.m. You set up the checkpoint there in the morning. Now clear, right?
Yes.
But you have received the calls during the night time that drugs was passing through that way. Am I correct?
You are correct, but it's an interesting point, and I may explain right now.
Miss Strait, please limit with the yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, so you set up this checkpoint signage near the checkpoint within the distance of 100 meters that could visible to any person near the checkpoint.
Yes, I suppose it's quite near, about 40 meters.
Ma'am, Mrs. Strait, please. Thank you. So next questions. When you stopped the car at the checkpoint, did you recognize then carrier?
Yes, I did.
Okay, being then there at the car, was the reason you pick inside the car?
For most of the cars I inspect, I see in the car to check.
Ma'am, please, with the boundary of yes or no.
Counsel, if it's not possible to say yes or no, we're going to have to allow the witness to explain briefly, but I am going to ask the witness if it's possible to say yes or no, please do that. Okay. Counsel, why don't you repeat the question?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. So the question is, being then there at the car, was the reason you pick inside the car? Yes.
It wasn't the whole reason. It's normal to inspect car.
So you saw rolling papers, cigarettes, clip seal bag in the car when you pick inside. Am I correct, Officer Strait?
Yes, and I did mention about rolling papers and clip seal bags earlier.
Okay. Do you think having cigarettes, rolling paper, clip seal bags in the car can be a threat to anyone?
Could you repeat the question?
Do you think having cigarettes, rolling paper, clip seal bags in the car can be a threat to anyone? Yes or no?
Could you rephrase the question, because I don't understand the rest, the second part of the question.
Okay, so you mentioned you saw cigarettes, rolling paper, and clip seal bags in the car. So
Yes.
having these items in the car can be a threat to anyone.
And at that time, I'm not quite sure I understand your question, but as I told you in the trip examination, I saw those things and I immediately thought of it may be related to drugs.
So, okay, is it illegal to carry this item in the car?
It's not illegal.
Okay, thank you. I would like to stop in this point only. It is not illegal to carry these items. So when you ask my client to step out of the car for frisk search, did you have any warrant that time to conduct the frisk search on my clients?
I did not have the warrant.
Are you abide by the laws of Jaltanu Way in this case?
I am fully aware of the Jaltanu law, but I form certain suspicion, and I may explain further right now if you wish. The reason why I asked.
I will just need answers in the yes and no questions. So further moving with the questions. Do you know in Section 29 of Jaltanu Police Powers and Responsibilities Act, subsection 2, state for the avoidance of the doubt, a police officer can search a person and anything a person possession with a consent or a search warrant obtained. Do you know that?
I am aware, but we must refer to the first subsection. It tells the condition when I have reasonable suspicion.
Officer Strait, I'm asking about this law. You know that, right?
I know it.
So you said you didn't have any search warrant and the consent of my client. Still, you conducted the frisk search. Yes or no?
I still conduct the frisk search.
Thank you. So was Altra being detained for suspicion of the gun possession, correct? Like you said, or weapons of gut or knife?
My suspicion was not only about weapon. It's also about drugs.
In the chief examination that for the safety from the weapons like gun and knife, you detained her for the frisk search.
Yes
Before
or no?
that, before that, I was also suspected about drug. So both of them.
Okay,
Both-
so you did the frick search for the public safety, isn't it?
Yes.
So you found electronic scale and stress ball from the pocket of chemical engineering student Ultra Parker. So, Miss Straight, can electronic scale and stress ball can be the harmful for the public safety?
Well, let me say that
Can
first.
it be harmful for the public safety having electronic scale and the stress ball in the pocket?
Not all the time, but in some cases.
Okay, not all the time, noted. So can it be threat to officers also?
Could you say the question again?
So can it be threat to the officers of being electronic scale and stress ball in the pocket?
I did found them, but you know.
Officers, it isn't threat to the officers that if any substance is found that way.
I didn't find any
fear.
substance.
You didn't have to fear with the electron scale and stress ball being in the pocket, yes or no?
I did find it.
Okay, you did found the electron scale and stress ball, yes.
Yes.
But it is not threat to the officers, that it is not harmful to the officers being there.
Well, I would not say
yes or no, Mrs. Straight.
In some cases, it may be dangerous.
Okay, so that in some cases, like electron scale can be harmful to the officers.
Yes. From my experience, some drug dealers used it, and in my previous experience,
Officer Straight, I'm not asking about the drug dealers. I'm simply asking, can these items you told she poses be threat to you or the officer narrow that time in the scene? Yes or no, please.
So after I do the frick search, I discovered that he had two things on his body, but
Yeah,
I wasn't sure.
Electronic scale.
Okay, hold on, everybody. I understand the question that council is trying to ask is, Officer Straight, could the stress ball and the scale alone, was that a threat to you? Or was that a threat to, you? Would you consider that something dangerous? Yes or no?
When I found that, it was not a threat to me, but I consider it may be linked to a possible drug trade happening right at the moment.
Okay, thank you for that. Council, let's move on.
So you said before that you did the frick search for the public safety and you found no weapons. So isn't the threat of safety ends here?
Public safety includes drug trafficking, madam.
Ma'am, you
Not
mentioned
only
about the weapons, that's why you did the frick search. So I'm asking within the boundary of that, did the public safety ends with no found of weapons? Ma'am, please, I will request you to give the answer on the boundary of yes or no.
As I told you, I will say one more time. The ground for the frick search is not only about weapon, it's also about drug.
Okay, so after the frick search, you still continued the car search, yes?
Yes.
So did you have search warrant to the car search that time?
I did not, and I'm fully aware of that.
Okay, Officer Straight, you started searching the Ultra Parker car without warrant and you didn't get the consent of her, right?
Yes.
Okay, so still you conducted the car search. Am I correct, Officer Straight?
Yes, I did, and I believe it was not unlawful.
Okay, in the car, you saw packages for delivery, which are closed and sealed, right?
Yes.
So you opened those packages without the permission too, even though it was the sealed packages in the trunk of the car. It wasn't open that time. Am I correct?
Yes, but only one.
Okay.
One package.
Okay, it wasn't open that time is the point to be noted that you found on the trunk. So going forward with the next question, you found two phones during car search, right?
Yes.
Did you have any search warrant of the phone during that time?
I did not.
In Section 29 of Jaldanu's Police Powers and Responsibilities Act, subsection 6 says that if the police officer found a mobile phone or some other device in person position, the police can search it. But the device is password protected. The police do not have the power to gain access the password without consent and search warrant. There is no exception in the law. Is that right?
It is the law. I know the law, but there's an exception rule for that. And I know the exception rule.
Without the search warrant and the consent, is there any other way you can open the phone? No,
Yes.
right?
Yes, there is.
Okay. Okay. So the phone you found from Ultra was the password protected.
Yes.
but you have no law and you have no power to gain the passport if you have no consent and the search warrant.
I think there is an exception for that rule.
Okay, so but if you have no password and no consent, you cannot search the phone, isn't it?
I may explain later.
Okay.
Sorry, I would like to inform about the time being over.
Okay, so I will like to ask you the last questions. So when you
No,
said,
time's up. No, counsel, time's up. Thank you.
okay, I'm done with
Okay,
it.
thank you for that. All right. Thank you very much, defense. Let's go back to prosecution. Would the prosecution like to re-examine the witness at all?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So firstly, I would like to re-examine you about the information that has been stated again and again by the defense lawyer about the warrant. So can you tell me why did you conduct the car search without the search warrant?
Yes, so first of all, I know the law, section 29 about the law for police in Giao Trao Nu. It says it's two situations. The first situation that I need reasonable suspicion to stop a person and search their possession.
Yes.
And second, if I don't have that, I need either consent or warrant. But in this case, I have reasonably suspected the driver. You know, for the thing in the car, the rolling paper, the clip seal bag, I know they alone cannot be harmful, but they may be a trace to drug trade. And you know, for the bloodshot eye, the attitude of the driver, and for Dane Carrier's previous conviction staying aside, Elsa Parker even avoided and refused to answer my question in a very aggressive tone about the package inside the car. And also, PDP is a very suspicious company with possible link to drug trade. So for those information in my head at that time, I developed proper suspicion for a drug case is about to happen at that time. And that's why I searched the car.
Yes, thank you. And then I want to ask another question.
Yes.
Did you inform that you would need to conduct a frig search when Elsa Parker only refuses to share about the content of the packages?
Well, I admit that at that time I was a bit rushed. I was a bit in a rush. I admit that it was a bit mistake of mine. At that time, you know, as I just mentioned, with those information combined, I was so sure with my suspicion that this guy must have something to do with drugs. So I was rushed to jump to the body search before the car search. And, you know, it was just a little bit of my personal feeling at that time. I thought that I would be the first one to catch the big fish, you know, the first one of the first criminals in Giao Trao Nu. So I mean that it was a bit mistake of mine. I was a bit rushed, but I formed certain suspicion to do that.
Yes, thank you. I want to ask another thing about the time from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m. as the defense lawyer has mentioned. So why is that the time?
Yes, it's a very interesting part because as police officer, we know that from January to February, the report of drug trade happens from, you know, evening and nighttime. But this is the most interesting part because when we closely look at the reports, we discover that only the small cases happens at nighttime. But the most complex and biggest case happened at daytime. So before I set up the checkpoint, I did discuss with other police officers, and we agreed that we would trick and surprise the criminals by setting up the checkpoint at daytime to catch what we call the big fish. I mean, the most serious drug dealers.
Yes, thank you. Very interesting information. No more further question, Your Honor.
Yeah, I have a follow-up question. Officer Straight, this explanation of the timing, was that in the statement that has been shared with the defense, your statement?
I did not share. I think it's a confidential information shared by police officer only.
So the defense has never heard about this until this moment?
Yes.
Okay, well, this is a little bit unusual, but defense, because I don't think you've heard this before, I think this raises some procedural issues. I'm going to allow the defense to come back and ask a few questions about this, defense, if you want. Only on this, only immediately disclose explanation for the timing. Defense counsel, would you like a 5 minutes to question on this?
Oh, yes, Your Honor. I would like to proceed with a few questions regarding that.
Right. Please limit yourself just to this issue. Please proceed.
Okay, Your Honor. So, Officer Strait, you mentioned about the morning timing of the cases. Why, may I know, like, it was due to the new cases being going around that time?
It's not about the new cases, it's about the reports of previous cases.
It was because the report of the previous cases, and you didn't mention it in the witness statement because you forgot to mention it in the business record. Am I correct?
Yes, and in the business record, I only brief the most, simple and the most to the point information. I cannot like write hundreds of pages on that to explain the time.
I think because you didn't think about the cases happen in the morning. So because of late being in the business record also, you didn't mention it. Am I correct?
Could you rephrase the question?
So you did everything lately in the record. That's why you forgot to mention in the witness statement. Am I correct or not?
I would say that I wish I could say that in my witness statement earlier.
But you forgot because you put it late at the business record.
About the business record.
Your Honor, objection.
What's the objection?
The defense lawyer is accusing my witness of yes, her acts.
What's wrong with that? Why is that objectionable?
I'm objecting because of the accusation that the defense lawyer is making. And
you
my
mean
witness,
the accusation that Officer Strait acted improperly? What accusation are you referring to?
the defense lawyer also stated that my senior officer Strait didn't well, he managed to do the record, but then didn't file in the witness statement. Yes.
Okay. Defense, you want to respond to that? And then I'll ask my fellow judges whether they feel the objection should be sustained or not. Defense,
Yes,
your
Your
response
Honor.
to the objection?
Yes, Your Honor. I asked the witness that because of she put the business record late, that's why they forgot to mention the witness statement regarding she was doing about in the morning or in the night. So I was going with that reference, Your Honor.
Yeah. Can I hear from my fellow justices, Justice Wang and Justice Valentine?
Yes, I feel like that the questioning is appropriate, that this witness has said something that was not in the witness statement. And so I think it's fair for the defense lawyer to ask questions around that to have an understanding about why that happened. And I think that the questions as they were being presented so far have been appropriate.
I would concur. I think that this is a very relevant issue that the defense has been asking on. So I fully agree. Appropriate level of questioning.
Yeah. Okay. So the court will allow the question. So thank you for the objection and the response, but the court is going to allow it. Counsel for the prosecution, the defense can raise all kinds of different points with the witness, and the witness is free to agree with them or to disagree with them. All right. So let's have the question repeated, defense counsel, as the witness may have forgotten with all this argument. Could you please just repeat the question? And then I think the time is kind of running out, so I got to be careful here. But could you repeat the question, please?
Okay, Your Honor. So my question to the Officer Strait was that because she forgot to mention about it, because she forgot to mention the business record early, was that a reason that she also forgot to mention it in the witness statement?
Sorry, but I think it's two things in one question. So do you want to trunk it into two separate questions so I can answer you appropriately?
So dividing the questions, I will ask you clearly, because you forgot to mention business record lately, which you did late also. Am I right?
Yes, I did make the business record late.
So was that the reason you forgot to mention it in the witness statement because you didn't want that to come up?
No, I didn't say that I didn't want it to come up, but I really think that it's a confidential information in the police, so I did not write it.
Okay, so Officer Strait, so you mentioned there were heavy cases of drugs trafficking in the morning. So was that the source valid, you said? Because you didn't mention it with a reason, I guess.
Could you rephrase the question?
So you said you forgot to mention it in the witness statement. Was that the reason because the information that comes wasn't the valid source?
No. It come from valid source, but as I told you, it was confidential and shared among police officers, and it was the confidential reports. So only officers can access to that report and to read it closely.
Officer Strait, even though it's a confidential statement of the police, the case is also one of the important case, and I think defense should know about this witness part. Am I correct?
Yes.
And still you forgot to mention it in the witness statement. Am I correct with that?
Yes, I would say I wish I added that, and I think that I should have asked for my boss permission to share that information in the case package.
And you mentioned about the month of January and February regarding the case. You said that time the case was in the morning, something like that. Is it?
Some big cases of drugs happen in the morning time, in the daytime.
January and February, right?
Yes.
But you also mentioned it happened in the March, January, February, March 1st, the case was reported. You've mentioned clearly the case was reported continuously from the night time. So is there any base that you said it was reported on morning from January to February? Because the incident happened on the 1st March, and in the witness statement, you have said it happened on the night time.
It usually happens in nighttime. Usually happens, but not all. But not all cases happen at nighttime. Some big cases happen at daytime, and I did not include that.
Okay, I'm done with my questions, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm just going to note for the prosecution a concern that information has come up rather late in the process. And if there are other information that the police considered confidential and did not provide to the defense, and that comes up again, we are going to have a procedural issue here, which we are going to need to address, right? Because the defense is entitled to know the relevant information. So I don't know what's coming here, but I'm just going to note that concern for the prosecution in case it comes up again. Okay, thank you, everybody. Prosecution, I mean, I would allow you 1 minute to re-examine your witness if you want it. Do you want it?
I don't want any further information or question, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, prosecution, would you like to call your next witness, please?
Yes, Your Honor. We'd like to call our second witness, Officer Nero.
Officer Nero, are you in the courtroom? Officer Nero, please stand up and raise your right hand.
Officer Nero, you need to unmute yourself, I think, so we can hear that you are agreeing to the oath. Thank you. Proceed.
Witness, Officer Nero, do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before the court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I'll be telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, thank you. Please be seated.
Okay, prosecution, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. So firstly, can I ask for your name, your age, and your job?
My name is Officer Naru. I'm 28 years old, and I just graduated from Jalpeno Police Academy 1 year ago. And I was assigned in traffic duty to assist Senior Officer Strait.
Yes, thank you. So as your duty to support senior officer street, what did you do on the 1st of March 2023?
On 1st of March 2023, it was my third day at the job. And yeah, Officer Street was my mentor. I find Officer Street very responsible and very professional. And yeah, that day we both set up a random checkpoint. And I think Officer Street did put up a proper signage that day. And yeah, and he was responsible to direct the cars and do the further inspection while I was there to assist him. So that day I observed a black BMW car which was being approached by Senior Officer Street. Senior Officer Street directed the black BMW car to the bay, and I saw two people in the car, the driver and the passenger.
Yes, thank you.
And yeah.
Okay. So what did you observe after seeing the drivers?
Yeah, firstly, what happened was Officer Street was talking to the driver, and I saw they both got out of the car. And what I observed was the driver, whom I now know to be Ultra Parker, was very animated and a little nervous, and he was very animated and nervous, and I could hear clearly that I could hear that she was talking in a very loud voice, like she was very loud in her tone.
Yes. Okay.
And
so
yeah.
yes, please proceed.
Yeah, and then what happened was like the Ultra Parker then what I observed was she was trying to reach her pocket. Like Officer Street first called me to assist. Then what we saw was she was trying to reach her pocket, but I could not see clearly what it was. She was trying to take out something from her pocket. I could not see that clearly what it was. Then Officer Street conducted a frisk search to Ultra Parker and driver. And from the frisk search, he found a small electronic scale in the driver's jacket.
Yes. So Officer Street found a small electronic scale, and what did you do after that?
After that, when Officer Street found the scale, Officer Street and I both began to search the car, and we started to search the trunk of the car, and we found a crate marked with PDP. The package and the crate marked with PDP, and there were more packages, and I recognize, like I understand that Ultra Parker was the employee of PDP, and PDP is the company which was under inspection of police that to have a potential relation or link with the drug dealers. So yeah, that's what happened. And then what happened was in those many packages, one of the packages was a little different. So there was no name and only address. So Officer Street found it to be very unusual and started to open the package. So opening it, Officer Street found a self-sealed baggie where there was a white powder, and later the drug analysis confirmed it to be a white powder of cocaine of 1 kg.
Yes, thank you. And what did you guys do after?
Sorry?
After finding the white powder, the bag full of white powder, what did you do after that?
Yeah, after finding the white powder, we continued to search the car, and searching the car, Officer Street found a black baggie with a large sum of money, and then he went further, and in the glove compartment he found 2 mobile phones, and he found 2 mobile phones, and he gave me the one which revealed nothing. Then he tried to look over to another phone, and the next phone had a passcode. So he went on to approach the Ultra Parker for it, and at that time I started and continued to search the car. Yeah, that's what happened.
Yes, thank you. So after finishing the car inspection, what happened?
After finishing the car inspection, I was like taking the white powder and the packages I kept in the duffel bag. Then I went to the car, the police car, and what happened was Officer Street came to me and like he said like we had enough evidence to arrest Elder Parker and charge her of having possession of dangerous drugs and and we can charge her with the intention to sell. So then that's what happened. We arrested Elder Parker and we arrested Elder Parker, took her to the car, and we took her to the police station. And afterward, I had family urgency, so I need to go as soon as possible. So I just handed over all the evidence to Officer Street, and then I informed him and went from the police station. Yeah, that's all what happened.
Yes, thank you. Your Honor, no more further questions.
Thank you, prosecution counsel. Defense counsel, would you like to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to.
Okay, please proceed.
Hello, good morning, Officer Nero.
Good morning.
So, questions that I would like to ask to you generally raises for a yes or no answer. However, if you can't reply to that particular answer, please let me know. Is that clear?
Okay.
Okay, so first, you are currently a rookie in the traffic control unit, correct?
Yeah, it was my third day.
Yes, okay, it was the third day. So you were just assigned to the police force. Is that correct? To the traffic control unit, I mean.
Yes.
Yes, and you were tasked to assist Officer Strait in a particular day, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and this assistance includes preparations for the checkpoint as well, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and you're also assisting Officer Strait on the search protocols. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes.
I was assisting.
Okay, thank you. So Officer Strait was the one who talked to Eltra Parker, correct?
Yes, he was the one who talked to Elder Parker.
Yes, and you were called to assist when Officer Strait found the stress ball, correct?
Actually, do not see clearly what it was, but then yeah, I was called to assist.
So you was called to assist during the frisk search, correct?
Yeah, when I went there, he started the frisk search.
Yes. So were you called before or during the discovery of the particular ball?
But what happened was like I went there and like he called me, like I could see something, and then she was trying to get her to the pocket, and then the frisk search was conducted. Yeah, that's what happened.
Thank you. So you were called when Elsa reached in, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, and then yes, after that particular moment, did Officer Strait say anything to Eltra?
No, like what particular thing you mean? I didn't get it. Sorry.
Anything?
No.
No. Okay. So to the next question, you were searching the vehicle with Officer Strait, correct?
Yes, I was searching with him. Yeah.
Yes, and both of you were aware that Eltra was working with PDP. Is that true?
Yeah, we were aware that Eltra was working with PDP.
Yes. Okay. And you, during the search, you were checking the trunk with Officer Strait, correct?
Yes, I was searching the trunk with Officer Strait.
Yes, and then you open a crate in that particular trunk, and it had a PDP logo on the crate, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and then you proceeded to open one single package, correct? Yes, and you did not open any other packages before or after?
Yeah, because that was the only packet which had no name and only address.
Yes, but then you did not open any other packages afterwards, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Thank you. So did before that car search, there was no conversation between Officer Strait or you with Eltra Parker?
Regarding me, I had no conversation, but with Officer Strait, yeah, Eltra was having conversation with her I could see that street was
Okay,
off
so
the street
Eltra was
talking to
having a
Elder Parker.
conversation, correct? Eltra was having a conversation with Officer Straight.
Uh,
Did that
to this
particular
particular question, I could not understand. At which time are you talking about?
the time that I was talking about was prior to the opening of the trunk. Was there any conversation?
When I went there, when I reached there, when I was called to assist?
Yes, prior to that, did Officer Straight talk to Eltra Parker?
No.
No, okay. Thank you. So then you found 2 mobile phones in the glove compartment as well, correct?
Off the street found it, yeah.
Oh yes, Officer Straight found it. So did Officer Straight, prior to searching the glove box, you were assisting him, however, no, correct?
Yeah, I was assisting him. Yeah.
You were assisting him during the glove box search, correct?
In this regard, what I'd like to say is that I was searching the trunk of the car, and Officer Street was the one who was searching the glove compartment, and he was the one who found 2 mobile
Yes, thank
phones.
you. I was not asking about that. I was asking, so you did not assist with the glove box search? Is that true?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I was not the one who discovered it. Yeah.
Okay, you did not assist of the glove box, but you did know that Officer Straight found 2 mobile phones, correct?
Yes, because he gave me the one.
Yes. Okay, and then you gave before that, were you searching the phones with Officer Straight together?
The one mobile phone he gave me?
Both of them.
No, the only one he handed over to me, and it revealed nothing. The next one had passcode, so he went to approach Elder Parker.
Yes, and prior to that, he didn't say anything to Elder Parker, right?
Because I was like focused on searching the car when he moved, and I don't know about the thing, what they had conversation or what happened afterwards, because I was searching the car.
Sorry to clarify. I meant during the phone search, Officer Straight did not talk to Eltra at all, correct?
During the phone search which I was searching?
No, you said you were searching the phone when Officer Straight found the phone, and then you were searching the phone.
Yeah.
So you must have been there with Officer Straight searching the phone, correct?
Yeah, while searching the phone which had no passcode, I was there with him because I was the one.
Yes, at that particular point, did Officer Straight speak with Eltra prior to that opening the cell phone?
No, to search the mobile phone which had no passcode, he didn't. We had no conversation with
Yeah, I was speaking with the one with the passcode though. The one with the passcode. Did Officer Straight?
Actually, with the I already said that with the passcode, I was searching the trunk card, and I don't know about that because I was not focusing on that. Officer Street was the one who went to approach, and I started to continue.
Okay,
to
sorry.
search
I'm
the
sorry
car.
to clarify. I'm sorry. The mobile phone was found, correct? And then Officer Straight was looking towards the phone with you, but then now you said you were in the trunk. Can you please clarify how you were in the trunk at that point?
Okay, let me clarify it. When he found the 2 mobile phones, he gave me the one first, which had no passcode. I looked through it, it revealed nothing. So when we wanted to look through the other mobile phone, it had passcode. So we were searching the trunk. He came to me when I was searching the trunk of the car, and he gave me the first phone, and it had no passcode. And the next time when it had passcode,
I understand.
Okay, thank you.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, so about this, did you throughout the checkpoint, did you notice a homeless person walking to the car prior to the checkpoint?
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
You saw a homeless person walking to the car. That particular homeless person was also checking the engine bay, correct?
I actually don't know about that.
Yeah, but you noticed
because
the homeless.
That was not my prior focus.
Oh, so you did not notice the homeless person checking the engine bay, correct?
Yeah, it's not I noticed, like I just know that there was a homeless person, like now the jiggy right man. I don't know
Okay, so
what he was looking
but
or
you
what he was
noticed
focusing.
the homeless person walk towards you in the car.
About the notice? No, I didn't notice that prior to.
Oh, you did not
prior
notice
to the
that.
station. Yeah.
You did not notice that. Okay, thank you.
No.
I think, Your Honor, I'm very much thank you. That is all for my questions.
Okay, thank you. Prosecution, any re-examination?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, please proceed.
Thank you, Officer Nero. Good job with your answering. And I think you want to explaining something about the two mobile phones. Do you want to re-explain that?
Yes, I would like to. Regarding this, like, firstly, we were searching the trunk of the car. Then, Officer Street was the one who went through the inspection of glove compartment. He found two mobile phones. Then he came to me and asked me to search the first mobile phone, which had no passcode. And we searched for it, and it revealed nothing. So when we tried to search for the other mobile phone, what happened was it had passcode. So for that, he had to approach Ultra Parker. So he went on to approach Ultra Parker, and I just continued to search the car, and that's what happened. So I don't recall what happened because I was focused on searching the car, and I don't know about the next mobile phone. What happened actually at that time?
Yes, thank you. Another type of piece of information about the late notice. So why didn't you know about the time where Officer Street state that the checkpoint will be set up at 5? Do you want
sorry?
to? So the checkpoint was set up at 5 a.m. Yeah, according to the record. Do you want to explain why it was late or anything?
Yeah, I like to. Actually, what happened was at around 4:30.
Counsel, I'm going to ask you to, you have just kind of put words in the witness's mouth. Do you want to explain why it was late? If you have a question, please pose it, but don't try to testify for the witness. Okay, could you rephrase that question, please?
Yes. So Officer Nero has mentioned about the business record of the time where the checkpoint was set up. So can you re-explain that with more details?
Okay, I'd like to say about it because what happened that day was like at around 4:30 a.m. Officer Street called me and say that he has something family urgency or like he has urgency, and we had to we'll only be able to make it to 10. So that's the conversation we had. So it was big. So that is the reason why the checkpoint was established at 10.
Yeah, thank you, Officer Nero. Your Honor, no more further questions.
Okay. Prosecution, I understand we're done with this witness. Do you want to call another witness?
We would, Your Honor. We would like to call
All
our
right.
third witness, Ziggy Bagman.
Please proceed.
Ziggy Bagman,
Yes,
are you in the courtroom?
yes, I am.
Please stand up and raise your right hand. Do you promise that the testimony you shall give in the case before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I promise. The testimony I shall give will be truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Shall we proceed, Your Honor?
Prosecution, you can proceed. Please do examination in chief. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, Ziggy Bagman. Could you please introduce yourself to the court?
Hi, I am Jiggy Bagman. I'm 63 years old and currently I'm living on the street of Zoltanu.
Okay, could you describe about your occupation?
Currently I'm unemployment. Before this, I used to own a motor garage.
Okay, so let me take you to 1st March 2023. Can you recall what happened that day?
Oh, that day, I recalled as I usually sit on Pacific Avenue. On that day, on Pacific Avenue, there were two cops who were setting up some checkpoints, and there were cars coming on and going on.
Okay, thank you. So after the officers set up the checkpoint, what happened next?
After that, there were so many cars coming, and some checks were going on on that checkpoint. And I recall a very nice old black BMW car also coming approaching the checkpoint.
So where were you while the black BMW car was pulled over to the checkpoint?
When the car pulled over the checkpoint, I was so amazed by seeing the old black WBM car. So I tried to come as close as possible, but as senior officer straight pushed me back. So I was little far, but I was staying close to look at the black BMW car.
Okay, so by standing there, do you recall what happened next?
Oh yeah, there were passengers who were asked to give as there was officer who now I known to be Officer Straight. So Officer Straight introduced himself and asked the driver for their name and identification. Also asked if they could do some search and all, and to which Elder Parker said the driver, who I know to be Elder Parker now, said, yes, I have nothing to hide.
Okay, so when Elder Parker said that, what happened next?
After that, those passengers were asked, I guess, to come out of the car.
Okay, so when the driver and the passenger came out of the car, did you notice anything regarding Elder Parker's body language or behavior?
Behavior. So I usually sit on there on Pacific Avenue. I see lots of checkpoints happening over there, and so many people comes and go. And on that day as well, Elder Parker and another passengers were there, and they were quite agitated. Elder Parker was quite agitated, looks quite agitated towards the officer.
Okay, so you mentioned both driver and passenger stepped out of the car. So what happened right after that?
After that, there were some sorts done, pat down. Officer was some patting down the driver.
So could you see if anything was found from the search?
As I was looking at the BMW car, mostly I later say saw some electronic scale on the hand of officers.
Okay, so after the frisk search, what happened next?
Oh, after the patting down search, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So after that, there were sorts of black BMW car, which I got opportunity to look at the engine, because they opened the trunk, they opened the glove compartments and all. So they were looking, searching inside the car.
Okay, so could you see if anything was obtained from that search?
Yeah, the officer, as I was looking so much into black BMW car's engine and overall the car, but yeah, there were officers, cops who took some bags and boxes from the trunk of the car.
Okay, so following the car search of the trunk, what happened next?
After that, there were some sorts in front of the car as well, and maybe they took something out from there as well, maybe mobile phones.
So what did they do with the mobile phones that they received from that search?
Mobile phone. So though that big officer straight handed down the mobile phone to Elder Parker, and Elder Parker unlocked it and handed back to officer.
So after Senior Officer State received the phone back from Elder Parker, do you recall him saying or doing anything?
Oh yeah, the driver and another passenger were taken under arrest.
Did you?
And also they were reminded, I guess, to that they have right to remain silent and other things.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. Prosecution, any re-examination?
I think it's a cross-examination by the defense, if I'm not mistaken.
Sorry, did you want to re-exam? Yes or no? Sorry, I didn't get that.
It's defense cross.
Oh, pardon me. Okay. All right, sorry. Yes, all right, defense, would you like to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor, we would.
Okay, please proceed. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, Miss Ziggy.
Good morning.
Okay, generally the questions that I would like to ask call for a yes or no answer. However, if you can't answer in a particular manner, please let me know. Is that clear?
Okay, could you speak a bit loudly?
Okay. The questions I'm about to ask generally call for a yes or no answer, but if you can't answer it in that particular manner, please let me know. Is that clear?
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. So let's start. You were sitting down on a bench when the stop started, correct?
Yes.
Yes, and you also mentioned you previously owned a garage, correct?
Yes.
And your specialization was BMWs?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I drive a classic BMW myself. So what time did you start sitting on the bench in Pacific Avenue?
Oh, sorry, I do not listen you.
Oh, I'm sorry. What time did you start sitting on the bench in Pacific Avenue?
Oh, so usually I sit over there the whole night, the whole morning, and on that day also I was there since morning.
Yes, and then you were walking around near the car during the stop, correct?
Hmm?
You were walking around near the car during the stop,
Yes.
correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, and then you saw the police officers talking to the driver, true?
Yes, they were talking.
Yes, you were able to notice that the driver gave the driver's and registration. Is that correct?
Yeah, they might have given identification
Oh, they might have given.
because the window was closed, but I was just listening them, not hearing.
I'm sorry.
Not
Can I just ask? Did they might gave it or did they give it?
I do not recall.
So you do not recall if the driver gave the driver license to the police?
No, I do not, because the window was closed, right? So I was just listening them at that time and looking at the car.
I'm sorry, but you did mention on your chief examination that you stated during your chief examination that the officers were giving the driver was giving the officers their license and registration, correct?
No, the officer asked the driver identification, which I listened.
Yes, and I was asking if the driver gave the driver license.
They might have given, but I did not see from my own eyes.
Oh, so you did not see it. Okay, so you said in your chief examination you were able to notice the phone. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So during that time frame, were you able to notice there was another officer around that particular car?
Yes, there was 2 cops.
Yes, there was 2 cops. So where was the other officer standing during the time you walked to them?
So at first there was only 1 cop, and the 1 cop called another cops while searching the car. So he might be around the spot anyway.
Okay, so he was nearby, Okay. Is that true?
Sorry, pardon me?
He was nearby the car. Is that true?
Yes, I was nearby the car.
The police officer was nearby the car.
The police officer, yes, yes, he was. I guess she was on phone.
Okay, thank you. So during the interaction between Eltra and the police, you were checking the engine bay, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And then thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, defense. Prosecution, any re-examination?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Prosecution, any further witnesses that you'd like to call?
No, Your Honor, we are done with our 3 witnesses.
Okay. I understand that this might be a good opportunity to take a break. Madam Clerk, is that acceptable?
Yes, for
Okay.
5 minutes we can do the break.
Okay, so we will, court will recess for 15 minutes, 15 minutes. Madam Clerk, can you ensure that the witnesses remain, who have not testified yet, remain sequestered and do not talk to anybody?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please confirm?
I will make
Yes,
sure that.
thank you. Okay. All right, so where the court is in recess now, we will see everybody back here in 15 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fair trial.
Exclusionary hearing.
Constitution is
The roadside stop.
Police power.
The electronic scale.
The law, examination in chief,
The system.
drug trade,
Witnesses. The fact.
Risk search.
case theory,
The search of the car.
Cross-examination.
To examine each witness.
legality in the collection of the evidence.
Closing argument.
Balance of probabilities.
Defendant.
What is an evidence exclusionary hearing?
The evidence should not be let in.
As a lawyer, you have to be clear about what the case theory is. We're looking at the facts and we're looking at what, who, when, where, and why. And then finally, are there any weaknesses in our case theory? We've got to be very careful to remember that there might be weaknesses and think about how we're going to deal with those.
An opening statement
to frame the legal and factual issues.
Your Honor, on 1st March 2023, Senior Officer Strait was in charge of the checkpoint established at Pacific Avenue. The checkpoint was being established because the Zaltano police had received information from some reliable sources that drug trafficking is being carried out on Pacific Avenue and Astor Road.
Eventually, the court will learn that he was stopped wrongfully at the checkpoint.
You're going to make a decision that has huge consequences, both for that person, but also maybe for the wider community. One of the things that rules of evidence does is that it makes sure that when you make that decision, you make it with the best evidence. And when I mean the best, I mean the most reliable, the most accurate, that it's based upon logic rather than any kind of emotional response.
And evidence in chief comes when you're calling the witness, when it's your witness, and cross-examination then comes when it's your opponent's witness. So your opponent has called the witness, your opponent has led the evidence in chief from that witness, and then they sit down and then it's your turn to stand up and you then cross-examine. During re-examination, is it permitted to ask your witness questions about new areas of your case which were not asked during either chief examination or cross-examination? So based on everything we've just said about that, does anybody want to say that you are allowed to do that? Anybody want to say that you are? So a few people hazarded a guess that perhaps you are, but I think it's probably pretty clear. I think it's probably pretty clear that the answer to that is no, you're not.
You know, so if you don't need it, don't do it. But like what Judge Stewart says, but if you're going to do it, be careful. But it is an opportunity to give your witness the chance to explain something that on cross they may have just allowed your witness to answer yes or no. But just be careful. You don't need it, don't use it.
Your Honor, in the process of hearing, the prosecution will prove that all the evidence and statements that were obtained in the checkpoint from the defendant were obtained in accordance with all the relevant Zaltano laws.
The defense request to the Honorable Court that the evidence collected and forwarded by the prosecution be inadmissible.
Okay. This is the important. In a whole, we can say that both the understanding of the case, fact, and the way of presentations, the way of skill to present those information is equally important.
I would like to call first witness Senior Officer Strait.
Senior Officer Strait, please take you all.
I will tell the truth, the whole truth, and not more than the truth.
You may proceed.
Senior Officer Strait, blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah.
Senior Officer Strait, blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah.
Senior Officer Strait, blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah.
Pre-trial hearing.
Case theory.
Court documents. Having the truth.
The opening statement.
The chief examination.
What is your role at the Zata news station?
Cross-examination.
Is it true that Elder Parker denied every single question?
Witnesses.
Pre-examination. Okay, you help to heal them.
Your Honor.
The closing argument.
Police powers relating to roadside checkpoint.
Unlawful frisk search.
Your Honor, may it please the court. Today, as a prosecutor empowered by the state of Zatanu, I respectfully will proceed with 4 standpoints to protect evidence in order to bring them to the bench trial.
Your Honor, may it please the court. Today, as an advocate of my client, Ms. Etra Parker, I, along with my co-counsel, Shruti Sharma, stand here to defend the rights and legitimate interests for my client, who was seriously violated by the police officers according to the law of Sultani.
What was happened at 11 a.m. at the checkpoint?
I directed a black BMW into the checkpoint and asked for the driver's name and identification, like I do for every other car at the checkpoint, as a standard protocol we follow.
Did you continue to conduct the frisk search after finding the stress ball?
Yes.
Okay. At the end, did you find any weapons?
Not particularly.
Your Honor, the prosecution will provide the burden of proof with the probability of evidence, and we also prove that all of the obtained evidence are legal and very important. Your Honor, in this regard, we will go over the 4 issues, establish the burden of proof, and we will prove why the prosecution has fulfilled all of these burdens.
Your Honor, may it please the court. This case deals with the motion to exclude the evidence obtained unlawfully on the ground thereof. Your Honor, if a police officer does not respect the due process or procedure of law, how could other citizens believe in the law? This raises the question among general people that can government officers just do what they deem fit? In this case, Officer Strait and Officer Momo had broken the law and policy repeatedly by misusing their power.
Oh my god, this is very cool, and I met new friends too, so thank you a lot for this opportunity.
I'm very honored to be a part of this event.
It's really a very precious another experience for me to be a participant here.
It is my pleasure to join this event.
This is all of my pride and pleasure to have a chance participating.